Hey, Michelle, how's it going today?
Good, how are you?
I'm feeling excellent. What are we talking about on All Ears English today?
Lindsay, did you know that Aubrey went on a helicopter ride this weekend?
Well, that is wild. I didn't know that. Is that so?
Yes.
Wow, okay. So, is that actually true,
No, I
Michelle?
don't think that's actually true, but it seems like it could happen, right? I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like I could see Aubrey going on
I
a
I could see
helicopter.
her doing that. I could see her going skydiving. I've never asked her if she wants to go skydiving, but I could see her wanting to do that.
Well,
Michelle,
these are questions I'm gonna ask her later. I'll
okay,
text her and
good.
ask.
If you could here's a question for you. If you could take a helicopter ride anywhere, where would you go? Like, what would you be above to get a view of? Any place in the world.
Ooh, to get a view of.
Mhm.
Oh, for the best view. So this is different than just like where I'd want to go. We're just talking about the view.
Yeah, like, what would you wanna be above in a helicopter to look down and just a sense of wonder of, "Wow, this incredible" I don't know, it's a place in the world that you can
I would say, ooh, I'm torn between city and, like, beautiful beachy type
Mm.
situation, but I would probably say Tokyo or
Tokyo, cool. Cool, cool, cool.
yeah,
Cool.
or I think maybe, like, Dubai or somewhere with a lot
Oh,
of
desert?
amazing yeah, but also the amazing buildings, like
Okay.
right,
Huh.
stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, what
okay.
about you?
Well, my basic answer is the Grand Canyon, but that's too basic. So, I would say something like maybe the Amazon. If I could
Oh.
look down and see even, like, dip down and see wildlife or something. I don't know. I think it would be if I weren't causing any harm to the environment, of
Good.
course.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, well, there's a
Yeah.
key thing that I said here, or you said, or one of us said. What was
Yes.
it?
Well, it was, "Is that so?" So that's what we're gonna be talking about this episode. But guys, we have something really fun coming up. We've been doing this for a few weeks now. It's a key Spotify poll.
Mhm.
So if you are listening on Spotify, you can interact with us. So at the end of this episode, towards the end, we will present a poll. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can actually hit an answer to whatever you want to say for this poll. And then we'll be able to get the results and share them with you on a future episode. So
Yes.
that's going to be really, really fun.
And so the question is that coming at the end of the episode today, Michelle? What
Coming later on. So don't
Okay.
stop listening. You got to find out what
Alright.
that question is.
Love
And
it.
guys, one more thing, make sure you hit follow wherever you're listening to the All Ears English podcast so you never miss anything.
I love it. Good stuff, good stuff. So guys, hang out until we announce the poll at the end and then participate. Make your voice heard.
Yes.
We are a community here. Our community believes in connection, not perfection. So we want to hear what you have to say, but stay on for the question.
Definitely. All right. So, what happened was I noticed myself saying, and others actually saying, "Is
Uh-huh.
that so?"
Is that so? Yeah. Interesting. So what does it mean,
Yeah.
Michelle? Is
So
that
it
so?
it it means really?
Mhm.
Maybe the
Mhm.
person is surprised or they just didn't know a particular fact. So this is a
Yeah.
unique way to express this feeling. And I also think it brings about connection because instead of just saying really, it adds some extra emotion and thought. So I
I
like that.
agree.
Do you
Yeah.
say, is that so?
I do sometimes. I think it sounds pretty smart. It sounds articulate to me, right? "Oh, is that
Hmm.
so?" I don't say it
Hmm.
all of the time, right? I wouldn't want
Hmm.
to overuse it, but I think there is a time and a place for, "Is that so?"
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, is there anything that's come up in your life or maybe on the news recently that you learned that was a little surprising?
Yeah, I mean, we don't get into politics too much on this show, so I won't really voice my opinion on this, but I
Mhm.
was a little surprised to hear that my particular state is taking action on the courts actually, like, because Trump will be running in the election next year, and my state is trying to disqualify Trump from the election due to the 14th Amendment. And I was like,
Mm.
"Whoa, Colorado making moves." You that is if I had shared that with you, you could have said, "Oh, is that
So
so?"
oh, is that so? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard. So that's just
Right.
one example. So responding to the news, responding to politics.
Right, something like that, or even, I mean, sometimes I say, "Is that so?" to my son because he'll bring up such a
Oh, that's cute,
random thing,
yeah.
so it makes me laugh, so sometimes I'll just say, "Oh, is that so?" Y and,
Yeah,
know, and it just kind of makes me giggle for some reason.
Yeah, they say weird random things, don't they? Kind of out of context, and they observe
Woo!
things, and they're like I'm like, "Okay."
Actually, oh my gosh, the other day he wanted me to make a crown for him.
Mhm.
And he said, "Can you make a" he said, "Mom, make a crown for me because I'm the king of the family." And I said, "Okay."
Love the
Is I said, "Can you
confidence.
try that again?" And he said, "Can you please make a crown for me because
I'm
I'm
the
the king
king of
of
the
the family."
family. That is a quote. That is a quote, and I love the
Y
confidence. I think we all need to
Yes,
learn from
yes.
your son.
Yeah, sometimes I think I'd made it to I don't have it now, but another one he said, "Oh my god, there are some winners." Anyway, but yeah, I might say, "Oh, is that so? You're the king of the family. Really? Okay."
Yeah, geez, it just makes me sometimes I wish I didn't, like, gain a filter as an adult. I wish I could maintain the lack of a filter that I had as a kid, right? Just saying things
Yeah.
like that. I love it.
Oh,
So good. It's
yeah.
so
It's
good.
it's the it's the best. It's hysterical. So anyway, but this is that so? Would you say that's formal, informal? Could you use it as at work? What do you think?
I think it's leaning formal for sure. Obviously, you could use it at a dinner party, social event, but I do think it's kind of leaning a little bit more on the more formal, more articulate side of things. That's what I think.
Mhm.
What do you think,
Mhm.
Michelle?
I think so. I think it has that kind of vibe to it, but I also think that it's kind of used in a way of, "Oh, is that so?" Just
Right.
in a cool way,
Yeah, for
in
sure.
a
Yeah.
somehow.
I think it's just mixing it up, making your responses a bit more interesting. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that the meaning can actually change based on how you say it. So for
Ah,
example, I might say to my son, "Oh, is that so? Like
yes.
you're the king of the family." But if you're telling me a piece of interesting news, I might say, "Oh, is that so? Oh, is that
Right.
so?"
So it could
Something
be
like that.
challenging someone. Is that so?
Oh.
Right? Like, "You're the king of the family? Is that so? Do you pay the bills?" Right?
Yeah.
Versus I just shared the thing I talked about with the 14th Amendment in
Right.
Colorado. "Is that so? I hadn't heard that. I didn't
Right.
watch the news yesterday." Right?
More genuine. "Oh, really? I didn't know that." Like, that's interesting to me.
Mhm, mhm. Exactly. Yes, love
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, we also want to direct you over to another episode. We have need to convince a decision maker, learn how to nail it in English. So that's episode 27. So 2071. There we go.
27. Oh my gosh. Could we send our listeners back to episode 27? It's so far back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, not 27, 2071. A lot higher than that.
I love it. Are there any other things we can say, Michelle, that mean the same thing and our listeners could throw all of these into their vocabulary and just
Sure.
become immediately more interesting? Right?
Right. So the first one is that right?
Definitely, right? So this doesn't mean is that correct, right? What does this mean? What does this mean? Is the same thing really
It's
as is
basically the
that
same
so?
idea.
Mhm.
Like, it could mean, "Is that correct?" if you're
Yeah.
using it in that context. Is that right?
Is that
But
right? Is that
in this
right?
kind of way, like, "Oh, is that
Oh, is that
right?" Like,
right?
is that
Right.
it shows you how important intonation is and how important context is.
Totally. Let's give our listeners an example. So, Michelle, I ate 2 hamburgers for dinner.
Is that right?
Oh, highly unlikely. I would not be able to eat 2 hamburgers. No. And what else?
Okay, so then I don't know why I wrote "Is that so?" because that's the one we're doing. But so
Right.
the yeah, we have another one coming up.
Just a minute. All right, Michelle. Okay, this one is fun. What is it?
You don't say.
Hmm. This reminds me of some movie or some quote. There was something in pop culture with this, but I can't put my finger on it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes me think of like a cartoon. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I feel like there's a cartoon
There's
that would say
something
it, but I'm not
there.
sure.
There's something there. We'll have to research it. Maybe our listeners will know and they'll write into us and tell us what it is. There's something in pop culture media. Here we
Right.
go. Michelle, I'm buying a new car tomorrow.
You don't say.
Or maybe it's like a line of, I don't know, some like TV dad or something,
Maybe. You
Probably
never know.
the Tanners, right? You used to watch Full
Yeah, that's
House
of
all the
course when
time.
you
Yeah,
say TV dad, what I think of.
TV dad, sure.
So but Lindsay, why is it important to use phrases like these? What do you think it does instead of just saying all the time, "Oh, really? Oh."
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it's important to be interesting. I mean,
Mhm.
I just met with a friend for coffee at a coffee shop, a new friend that actually someone I met at the podcast conference, and she lives in my
Oh,
neighborhood, which is so cool.
is
We
that
have a lot in
so?
common. Yeah, that is so. Yes, it is. But, as she was telling me about her life, right? Like she's working in podcasting. She used to live in New York. So we have all these things in common. It matters the way I respond to her, the things she shares with me, right? It
Right.
matters if I just say, "Oh, okay." That's so
Right.
boring, We need to respond with life in us.
Yes, yes, exactly. I think it shows you're interested, that you're listening, and that you have your own style.
Yes, 100%. Shall we do a role play and show our listeners how to do it?
Let's
All right.
do it. So here we are friends and we are gossiping.
Okay, here we go. So,
Okay.
Lacey got fired.
No.
Yes. So she's moving.
Is that so?
Yep, to California.
Wow. Well, maybe she'll get in touch with Paul. He just moved there.
Is that right?
Yeah, he works for a movie studio.
You don't say. Good for him. Nice. Nice. Love
Okay.
it. Not the worst thing to move to California if you get fired. I mean, that's
Yeah, I
California is
mean,
kind of
hey.
awesome. The weather there is just insanely amazing all the time.
Exactly, exactly. So let's go through it. So you said so Lacey got fired and I said I just wanted to highlight this because
Oh,
this is pretty common. And
yeah.
when you're surprised, you can also just go, "No."
Yeah, and you could also add a gasp. No.
No, is like and then you said, "Yes," it's right,
Yeah,
so that's a
yeah.
lot of fun, but and as far as our expression goes, you said, "Yes, so she's moving," and I said, "Is that so?"
Right. Yeah. So this is for new information. And actually it really is actually better. My example about the coffee shop, I think this is better for news rather than getting to know someone. So I'm going to edit my comments, right? Because this is
Mm.
like updates, news,
Mhm, mhm.
happenings, goings on, right? New
Mm,
things that are
mhm.
happening, especially if you share acquaintances or again politics, the news, events. It's not as much for like getting to know someone on a first time basis. I used to live in
Mm.
New I guess you could say that I used to live in Brooklyn. Oh, is that so? I guess so.
I think it is. I
Yeah.
think it's just something that's, like, interesting to you or unique or I
Okay.
don't know, just
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sticking with what you said at
Okay.
first, Lindsay.
Yeah, but I like all three contexts, the news,
Yeah.
personal news, like work news, work colleagues, things like that, and then getting to know someone and just learning early
Yeah.
facts about them
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
responding, right? Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like that too. So then, so I said, "Is that so?" And then what was the next one?
And then you said, "Wow, well, maybe she can get in touch with Paul. He just moved there." And I said, "Is that right?" Right? I'm saying,
Mhm.
what am I saying that about? What, like,
You were saying the fact that
he
Paul just
moved
moved to
to
California.
California, right? And so I didn't know that, right?
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm. And then finally, I said he works for a movie studio, and you said, "You don't say." It's like,
Mhm.
wow.
The other place where this could be useful is when you realize you know the same person, you don't say, "You
Mm.
know him too? I know him." This sometimes it happens a lot, like small
Right.
communities within industries. Oh wow, you don't say you know him as well, right? That's another context. There's a lot of contexts for this, Michelle.
A lot, a lot.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the role play. So lots of think of it. The main thing is that you're kind of surprised or intrigued, and then the other thing I think is challenging someone. Oh, is that so? You're the king of the family. One day when my son is 16 years old, I'm going to have him listen to this episode and and tease him about what he said.
I love that. I love that. All right. So now we have come to our key poll question. And Michelle, what is the key poll question if you are listening in Spotify today? What is the
Okay,
question?
so we are bringing it back to the helicopter ride because
Oh, okay.
we were talking about if Aubrey went on a helicopter ride. I meant, even though I made that up. But so the question is, I want to know about our listeners. So this is a key poll. Have you ever been on a helicopter ride? Yes or no?
This will be an interesting to get a sense. I personally, well, I'll just wait and vote as part of our poll later.
Okay. 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 So, guys, go ahead and vote on that, and we will share the connections. I want to get to know you guys even more. So, guys, Lindsay, what's a takeaway for today?
Well, guys, this is, as you've seen, we've thrown out 3 or 4 contexts in which this would be great. Is that so? Right? The key is respond when someone shares something with personality and be interesting. That's the
Yeah.
key, right? Just be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
Don't say,
exactly.
"Oh." Avoid "Oh," right?
Be
Yes.
interesting and be interested. right?
Yes,
That's the
yes.
other thing is, you wanna, be interesting to others, but you also wanna be interested in what others are saying. So, I think that's a good one to leave us with.
That's connection, Michelle. That's connection right there. All right.
That's right.
Well, thank you for hanging out with me today on the microphone, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, Lindsay.
Take care. Bye.